Hey guys, it's Caden from Family 4x4 here, and today we're going to talk about my under $30 ute tub rack. Right, so a little disclaimer first, only the materials here were under $30. Obviously, the reason it's cost $30 for me because I already have a welder, I already have a grinder and all that. But in all fairness, if you're going to build one of these, you kind of need a welder and a grinder. I mean, there is ways to do it by bolt systems. I look into that as well. But the strongest way, the best way, the easiest way really to do it is just to have a welder and grinder. Right, so let's get into it. What materials did I use and how much did it cost? So I got 30 by 30 by 1.6 box steel. So I got 5 meters in total. I didn't need that much. I've still got plenty spare. So the great thing was obviously I go there, I got them to pre-cut it. First time I bought steel, I didn't get them to pre-cut it. I tried to do it at home with my grinder. It all goes to hell. So get them to cut it while you're there. I got them to cut me 2 lengths of 1550 for the length. And then I needed 4 200mm high. Now the reason that I wanted the 200mm high was so that I had some room under here. That way if we ever take the dog or we need to put more stuff in here, we go traveling, swags, anything, we just have that extra room. And not only that, we also did it this way so that I can have some vision out of the rear view mirror. The next part was the mounting hardware. So how was I going to do it? This one, I struggled for a small amount with it because I wanted to keep the stock tonneau cover rails so that I'm still able to use them, but I also needed a section out of it so that I could securely mount it. So what I ended up doing was, I just cut small sections out. These are already cut out of my tonneau solely for the old setup I had, which it worked, but it wasn't great. All right, guys, so as I was saying before, with the original design, it didn't really work out for me. I did it wrong in the first place, so that's kind of on me. So what I did was I drilled these holes and then put rib nuts in there. So it's a rivet with a thread in it basically, so you can tie things down. Now unfortunately that didn't really work out for me. Second time around I ripped them out and I was able to just put bolts in. Again, I didn't like that either. The whole point of it was that the rooftop tent, once it was on it, covered the whole rear window, and I just didn't really like that. It was too low, we couldn't put anything underneath it, it just wasn't suited. Now, as you've seen that the other one, it only cost me under $30 to make. It's made it a lot easier, a lot better, a lot more comfortable also too. So now while this is a cheap, easy add-on basically to get your rooftop tent on your tub, these are just second-hand Rhino racks. We thankfully got them for free, but you can pick them up for $50 on the Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree, eBay, all that stuff. This will get you out there, this will get the rooftop tent off the top. Now, a lot of people are probably wondering, why have I gone for this instead of going up on there? Well, the main reason for that is because we've got our 12-volt solar panel up there and our awning, so there's not really anywhere for it to go as it's fixed mounted. Also, due to the fact of wind drag, having it on the top and having it in the middle put a lot more of the weight at the front of the car. Going forward driving didn't feel great because there was no weight in the back end at all. A lot of the time we would just skip and spin and stuff like that. Obviously fixed panel, it has to be up there. There's not really anywhere else for it to go due to we not having a proper canopy. So I've cut sections out, got some simple channel, I think it's 50 by 50, drilled the holes where I needed it, welded next to it. Now one thing I did have to do, which I didn't expect to happen, was I had to cut a slight groove out of here so that I could get a spanner in there for tightening it down. Depending on the design of your tub, you may not need to do that, but I had to, unfortunately. Now the mounting hardware for the rooftop was pretty straightforward. So the rooftop tent already has these rails along them with plates in here with bolts that go through. Basically all I had to do was buy slightly longer bolts so that they get all the way through this, mount up firm, no problems at all so far. Now for those of you who haven't welded before, don't let that deter you. This was my actual first project, besides having scrap pieces and trying to put them together. Now my welds are very far from pretty. They're terrible. From by a welder standard, these are terrible, but they are strong. The only reason it's moving because it's not bolted in. These are strong. We've already tested this. We did, over 300 Ks on a weekend. Mostly road, little bit of dirt, but it held up fine. We slept in it the night. it performed great. It was only towards the end of using it that I finally got my settings right and laid down a nice tidy weld, if you can see that there. So now my process of welding was just as simple as everything else so far. It was really straightforward. All you have to do is take the negative terminal off your battery, just for safety's sake. I laid my channel here. I figured out where I wanted my main pulse to be. Obviously you need to measure it to make sure that it's right. Then simply get one of these bad boys. This is a magnetic support holder, whatever you want to call it anyway. How was I using this? Oh, like that, yeah, sorry. So I just had that there like that. So that holds your steel in place while you're able to put some small tack welds. So just boop, 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 boop. That was enough to hold it in place and then proceed with my very hideously ugly welds that held it fully together. Okay, now the next step after the welding is obviously the post prep, I guess you would call it. So you get your piece of steel, simply put it in here, grabbed my angle grinder, and I grinded down all my horrible welds as best as I could. Once they were majoritively down, I grabbed my, my flat disc there. That just smooths everything out. So even if it's still bumpy, it's a soft bump. It's not a sharp bump that you can cut yourself with. After that, simply put it outside, give it a lack of paint. I only did one coat, so mine's already peeling. I'm gonna have to do it again. But that was really all there is to it. So now that you've seen all that, my question to you is, when are you gonna make one? It's just that inexpensive. It lifts it up that more. It gives you more space. There's more comfort. Everything about it is a plus. It makes it more streamlined. It's just great. Like some of you, I understand, may not have welders or grinders or, you know, the tools required, but I'm sure you've got friends or family. Everyone knows someone that would be able to help out. And what, a 6-pack? This only took me probably 2 to 3 hours for never knowing what I was doing, like for my first time. So for someone who knows what they're doing and has proper materials, I've only got a gasless MIG, so that's why mine isn't the greatest, but it welds stuff together. Alright guys, that's it for this one. I hope to see people commenting saying that they've done this before, or their ways, or anything that they know that can make this even better than it already is. Like, comment, subscribe, do all those good things to make me happy, and stay tuned for the next one. Ugh.